Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG, and we're back today to talk about card deals of the week as we go through the Market Watch series and other things that we do of just me just giving you random information about the market, cards, decks, and anything else I can get my hands on that I think you guys might find interesting. This series is going to start off with card deals of the week, as every week cards will go up and they will go down. And I'm going to pull out a couple of sweet cards that I think should be on the watch for any collector, even investor, if you would want to say that, on what kind of cards you should be picking up or could be picking up because the price is down and it might be a good time to buy in and get those cards you've been looking for really cheap. So, without further ado, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to try and get to 1,000 subscribers. I do appreciate it. So, today, in all things Magic, let's talk about Magic cards that are in the gutter, per se, and see if there's any deals out there you guys might be interested in. So, as we get started, I'd like to put a little caveat out there about how I picked these cards. So, I picked some of the cards with the lowest, uh, or I guess the highest decline in price versus their current price on a percentage scale. I also took out anything that I think are just not necessary. So, and what I mean by that, I'll give you a quick example. Here's a list of cards that are going down the most in the market. As you can tell, they're pretty much all Dominaria stuff because Dominaria is trying to find its price point. Also, they're all secret layers. So any new sets or secret layers, I'm probably going to keep off this list just because they're really skewed, they're really speculative, and then go up and down wildly, and it's not worth your time. And also, as far as secret layer goes, I wouldn't be investing in that to make money because at the end of the day, Wizards will reprint everything to God's all end, and you probably won't have any value in it because everything's just gonna keep dropping in price, as you can see with all the secret layers on this list. Now, there's a lot of Dominaria Mastered on here as well, and it's all the retro frame stuff trying to find its price point. I don't think that's terrible because these are all speculative prices when they first come out anyway. We still got at least 13, 14 more days before the set even hits the market. So anything in Dominaria Masters off the shelf, secret layers, not part of the plan. So let's get into it and check out those things on the reserve list that you might want to be picking up. So we'll start off today with our first card. We have Juxtapose. So this is from Legends. It was $34.95. It's now $29.49. It's down 15% this week. It might be a good time if you're looking to pick one up to get one, because as you can see on the scale here, it spiked it looks like it spiked during a buyout, but it's really bottomed back out almost to where it was. I don't think it's going to go down much further, so it might be a good time for you to pick up one of these cards if you're looking for one. Also, with that said, let's not forget that Legends, Lost Legends were just inserting a Dominaria in the collector booster, so a lot of Legends cards that were on the reserve list have hit the market, so it's causing a lot of them to causing a lot of the Legend cards to go down in price because of that. They're not as scarce; they're a little more available. But all in all, these are still cards that are not going to get reprinted. So if you want to pick them up, now is probably the best time because they probably won't be re-released again in any kind of pack setting ever. So moving on. Next, we have another Legends card, Lesser Werewolf. I love this card. It was $8.99. It's now $7.60. It's down 15%. You see here it was a high above 20. It's really come back down. It is a little higher than it was in the grand scheme of things, but as before, this card has dropped in price due to Lost Legends. It may go down even further, but if it doesn't, it's not too bad to save $1 on it, because honestly, it's a pretty sweet card on the list. Next, we have from Legends, or I'm sorry, Mercadian Mask. Wow, I thought this was a Legends list. Tower of the Magistrate. So from Mercadian Mask, this was $23.60, now down to $19.99. That's a 15% decrease. You can see in 2022 this card really spiked and then spiked heavily again and has now dipped back down to almost where the last spike was. I would suggest it might go down to 14 or 15, but let's be honest, at 20 bucks, this is a deal. It is on the reserve list. It's a land that comes into play untapped. Target creature gains protection from artifacts in a turn. We're on a artifact binge currently in the next couple sets, so I don't see anything but this card going back up. Once people start realizing in Commander that this is a thing. So, I'd probably pick them up now if I was you guys. Moving on. Next we have Arabian Night. It's Ring of Maroof. So this card was 142.49. Now it's 121.95. It's down 14%. As you can see here, it's back down to its normal range from where it was before. Actually, a little bit below, but almost not quite to where the spike happened. So I think this is probably where it's going to settle for a while. It may go down a little bit more, but if you're looking to pick one of these up, now might be a time. And one of the reasons you're going to see some Arabian Nights on here, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, is people think that they're going to do the same thing with Arabian Nights they did with Lost Legends, which is pull some old boxes out of storage and pre-insert them or reinsert them into collector boxes. Now, they haven't clarified that they are going to do that, but that's what everybody was speculating for the next set. But with it being Phyrexia, and us not only getting a couple of looks so far, I don't see really how Arabian Nights would play into that. But hey, who knows? I mean, they could do it in the future, but I just don't think it's going to be something they do in the next couple sets. But even then, that speculation still is driving these prices down, so it might be a good time to jump on the bandwagon and grab a couple. Next, we have Antiquities. We have Tetravis, so $55.99 now $48.07, $14 or down 14%. Pretty good drop. Antiquities is another set like Arabian Nights that they were speculating will be reinserted. Now, Antiquities has a probably more likelihood of being inserted into the upcoming sets because of all the artifact stuff going on. But even with that said, this is a good 14% or so drop from the spike. This may go down a little more, it may not. Yes, this thing has been reprinted several times, but just having the old one is what really drives the price on this one. So, moving on, next we have another Arabian Nights. We have the Elephant Graveyard. Add one colorless to your mana pool or regenerate Elephant or Mammoth. Very interesting card. Was $343.99. Now it's $303.99. 11% decrease. That's a pretty good jump down. You can see where the spikes start happening with all the buyouts. It's really pulled back down. It's still a pretty good chunk above 100. But I honestly, unless people are really scared the Arabian Nights are getting reprinted in some way, shape, or form, this may not go down much more. I mean, it's already at 300. If this thing gets down to 250, I'm not sure it's going to go much lower than that, especially with the card market turning as it is, like I mentioned. Things are probably going to start going back up, and it might be a good time to buy one if you need it in your Effluent deck. Anyway, so back to Legends again. Again, Lost Legends is a story here. We got Jovial Evil, 57.15, now 50.66, 11% decrease. You can see there's a big spike here for it. But then again, once they talked about how they were coming out, in the later sets of Dominaria, which for some reason is not on the list. But anyway, it caused the spike to go back down. It's still a little high. I think it's probably at the right place. Might not get much cheaper if this is something you're really interested in. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. Moving on, next we have Old Power Leech. So was $40.69 down to $36, 10% decrease. You can see a spike again here as people started diving into the single market as it dropped again after Lost Legends came out. It's right back to almost where it was, so it might drop off a few dollars, but I think it's pretty much this card has probably found its correct price point at this point. Moving on, next we have Singing Tree. That's right, for a green and 3, you can get an 0-3 that reduces target attacking creature's power to 0. Pretty good. This was $424.30. Now it's $380.97, a 10% decrease. You can see the spike in 21 as people start investing and buying in. Severe over 1,000 at one point has severely dropped off back down. It's still above where it was, but like I mentioned before, this might be finally stabilizing. It may drop another 10, 20 bucks. But let's be honest, what's $10, $20 when you've already got an extra 50 bucks off of it? If you need one of these cards for some reason, because the art is beautiful, this might be the time to pick it up. Next we have Nether Void from Legends. That's right. Lost Legends has even dropped another void. It went from 893.91 to 825 even. 7% decrease. You can see here there's a heavy spike during the investment cycle, which has slowly come back down. Lost Legends made another drop off here. It's dropped again. It's a little bit below the last spike, a little bit above the first spike. It's a little bit below, above the last spike. This might be the price range this card is going to stay in, especially as more Dominaria collector boosters get cracked and maybe one or two more of these enter the market. I don't see this getting much cheaper. Maybe some more higher grade stuff may come out to take its place, but I don't see this getting much cheaper. So if you really want one of these and it's been on your Christmas list, which you just missed Christmas, you might want to pick it up now. And finally, deal of the week. So every week I like to pull out one card from the heyday, and it'll probably be a card that I've even played with or touched or owned at one point, to talk about how sweet it is and what the deal is. And it's going to be a premium kind of spotlight. So of all the sweet high dollar cards, because they're the ones that even if the reduction in price, or if the reduction percentage in price is a low percentage, it still can be a large reduction to their price. And this week I have chose Champion of the Hour, Library of Alexandria. I love this card. It was $3,249. Now it is $2,874. It's 11% decrease, which is a lot when you're talking in the thousands. As you can see, at one point it did get to 10 grand, and it has slowly dropped. It's spiked left and right as people have been buying in and buying out. It is back down to where it was, right about here. Now it's still above this price range here, if you can see, but it is almost at where the last dip was. So if you look at this, unless this dip is going to go down even further, which I don't think it will, because people are still scared of Nitro to get reprinted or more boxes be opened from Wizard's Closet or whatever. This may not go any further down. This may be the kind of thing people are wanting to buy into, because let's be honest, when you look at collector boxes and things like that, you buy a whole collector box or a case of 6, right? It's gonna cost you 15 grand, or I'm sorry, 1,500. What's another 1,000? To buy a Library of Ling in good condition. Like, sweet Jesus, this is a card, and I still to this day regret getting rid of this thing. But anyway, with that said, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Now's your chance if you haven't yet. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. If you want some sweet cards, check out links in the description to the card store and eBay, my Patreon, just to help support the channel so I can come up with content and other good stuff. My email's in there if you just want to reach out and say hey, or talk about something you want me to research. Also, until next time, be kind. And as usual, I hope to see you across from the game table.